What's up, Team KBA? One Tech Traveler here. Hope you're enjoying the summer vibes and the great weather that we've been having in recent weeks. Temperature's been pretty toasty at times here in Belgium and definitely other places, so it's important to make sure you stay hydrated, cool, and top up your sunscreen SPF 50 if you're heading out to the beach or hiking. That leads me nicely onto today's video where we are reviewing the LARQ bottle filtered. I recently came back from my trip last week in France, Le Castellet, for the Formula 1 French Grand Prix. I'll do another video on that. Going for the first time, shooting as part of my work, an epic experience. But that also gave me a great chance to take this with me on an actual travel and adventure, how it fit in the whole flow of the way that I like to travel, my lifestyle, and whether I found it a positive or not so good experience. Want to share all of that with you in this video. If you're interested in learning more about LARQ bottles or you think these are right for you, I'll put the links down below, and I'll also put my written review up on my website at onetechtraveler.com. Now this bottle looks familiar because I reviewed the original bottles that LARQ released, the Pure Viz and the Pure Viz Movement, which they are now called, back in Seoul, South Korea 1 year ago. So if you want to get an understanding about what's special about LARQ bottles, what they kind of do, make sure you check those videos out. There are a lot of similarities of the filtered, but we're also going to talk about what makes the filtered bottle different from them, how well it works, the good, the not so good, and what you can expect if you're looking to spend your money investing in this bottle. What exactly is the LARQ bottle filtered? Well, like the name suggests, it filters your water when you're hydrating it, putting it in this bottle. If you're taking it from not the cleanest or freshest sources, or you're not sure, maybe you're traveling around or just out in nature and you need to hydrate, running it through the filter that is built into the bottle cap means it's going to remove contaminants, pollutants, and physically filter out anything from your water source before you drink it. It will go through the filter as you are sipping rather than filtering it as you are pouring it into the bottle. So it's kind of the complete opposite of a process if you've used filter jugs before. Very different from the Pure Viz, which is meant to sterilize and purify your water. It uses UVC LED lights, and it will emit the light throughout the bottle to make sure that there's no bacterial growth or viruses, and that can lead to like E. coli, any gnarly smell or bad taste, keeping your water fresh for longer. So the way they process cleaning water is very different, and they do work hand in hand. So you can actually sterilize and then also filter for that extra clean taste and making sure it's as freshest as you can be from the point of source. Filter itself is built into the bottle cap and it looks like this. It's quite an interesting contraption. It's a lot bigger than the Pure Viz, and you can just see it's got a long straw, and this white piece holds the filter itself, which we'll look at in a moment. We have a carabiner. It's built into the bottle cap. This is made of a light metal. It doesn't feel great. It feels fairly cheap compared to the powder-coated exterior of the main body. It is double wall insulation and stainless steel. This just feels a little bit not as nice. The bottle cap itself also has that rubberized soft touch matte finish. Feels good in the hand when you are carrying it on its own, so I like that a lot. The spout, quite a big thing compared to the Pure Viz, where you had to unscrew the cap in order to drink. It did have a wider mouth, same dimension as this, but that was the main way that you would drink. Now you can just flip this open, go for a drink, close it, and then you're done. If you want to stay hydrated, that just really changes the way I'm hydrating a lot more often. This is 740 ml. I think it's the bigger of the two. You'll find the Pure Viz has larger sizes closer to 1 liter because it's also great for keeping at home, even though it's a little bit heavier as LARQ bottles tend to be, mainly because this is double wall insulation and you've got all of that sort of tech infiltration going on. I find it is justified because it functionally does help to improve the quality of the water. So if weight is something you are concerned about, it will be a lot heavier than your other bottles, but for what it does, it's also not that bad either. I'm happy the bottle filtered has come out because it finally hits a price point that's half the price of the Pure Viz, making it a lot cheaper up front and makes it a lot more accessible for people who do want more of a premium bottle and actually like the functional aspect of how it tries to clean and improve the freshness, the taste and the quality of your water. So this sits roughly around 50 euros, $50, and just under that for pounds. A lot cheaper than the Pure Viz, which was close to 100 and also 100 plus for the bigger sizes. The powder coated exterior gives it that premium look, and I find the colors very tasteful, so you got a bit more personality. But with a cheaper upfront cost, it doesn't necessarily mean it's cheaper in the long run. The filters themselves recommended and should be replaced every 2 months, and those are exclusively from LARQ's website. You can do it as a subscription and you save a few pounds, and they will send one out to you every 2 months, or you can buy them as and when you want them, and it's gonna cost you a little bit more. It's roughly £20, 20 euros. So it costs quite a bit more than your typical filters, but they do have 2 filter types. One is a basic, one is an advanced. LARQ are quoting their filters perform more effectively than your traditional filters. So whether it's the advanced or the basic, either of the 2 filters is going to do the job. I'm going to give you a look at the filter themselves. You saw a bit of water. So we got the filter in here, and the top, you want to twist. There's a locking and unlocking mechanism. If I open that up, this is soaked in the water, and we have the filter that you can replace. I'll remove it and just show you. A bit of water might come out. Yeah, pretty well absorbed. I'm gonna lock this. I'm gonna wash my hands, wash this, and then put it back in the bottle. And just be careful, make sure that you have it over the mouth so any extra water falls back in. But that's what the filter looks like. You replace it. Easy to put in and easy to get going. And honestly, because it kind of disappears within the whole process, you don't necessarily know if it's working. All I know is that it is running through a filter, and they're high quality ones. Whichever source you're getting your water from, here in Belgium, I run it through the tap. I normally wouldn't do it, but because I've got this filter to run it through, then I do feel a lot more confident, a lot more reassured. If you're in other cities where you have questionable quality of water, this is going to help that, but of course you want to try and get as good of a water source as you can. The only thing I don't necessarily like from this, and it was a similar thing with the Pure Viz, but it's probably a little bit more pronounced in the filter, is the reduced volume of what you actually get. So it's rated as 740 ml. The Pure Viz, because it has an extended piece from the bottle cap, that actually eats into the volume, and there was a lot of times from the bottle, the water would just flood up when I put the cap on because it eats into that. You do also get that one here because you have the straw and you have this big filter piece as well that plunges itself into the water. So I'd find that this would have even lower volume than the Pure Viz. And before, I always found whenever I put the filter back in, water would always flood up, so I'd always have to leave a greater allowance. What you can do in a way I got around that is lean it to the side, make sure there's enough space, pour the water in here while keeping the filter, and that makes a ton of difference. You don't get the plunge effect of the water flooding up, and it's already inside, so when I screw it, you don't get any excess water flooding. So that's just a little tip, but is again reducing the volume of the overall water that you can store in these bottles. I don't use it for any other kinds of liquids. You can if you have cold drinks, especially in the hot weather, even more awesome. I've just done that with water. And if you plan to carry more liquids besides water, you might want to just check out the normal LARQ bottles so you don't get any of the sterilizing or the filtering technology. They just give you a normal standard bottle cap. It's going to be a lot cheaper. So none of the tech and all of the good stuff. If you're planning to carry with you juices, smoothies, coffee, stuff besides water. Now I think I've covered everything. Yeah, Great design, half the cost. The filters, a little bit on the pricier side, but the subscription, if you are really invested in having high quality water and maybe you already use filters, slight extra premium is not a worry because you can just carry this anywhere with you. Otherwise, you might want to just check the LARQ pitcher, which I do have coming in for review, and that's the filtered jug with a lot of the good tech we see in here, just more for the home. Is it worth it? Yes. It's a lot easier to see the value because the upfront cost is a lot cheaper, and then from there on, it's just up to you. It's anti-leak proof, so you can have it, you know, upside down, really shake it around, the water doesn't come out as long as you have this sealed. If you have it like this, water will come out, not even necessarily from the spout. There's like a little hole. Don't want to show you because I drank from it. If you have it closed, not gonna leak. The carabiner, awesome for securing to my bag when I went to Formula One, the Grand Prix. I traveled on the train to Paris and then to Marseille. And when I was out on the track, having this carabiner secured to a loop of my bag externally meant I wasn't as worried. Out of the two, which one do I prefer? I would say the filtered for my lifestyle. I think if you have both of the caps, then you're kind of set on a purifying, sterilizing, and a filtering point of view. But if you just had to get one, I would probably say the filtered. So there you have it. If you have any questions, sound them off in the comments down below and I'll be happy to get back to you. If you want to read more about it, check out my website at onetechtraveler.com. And of course, if you think this bottle sounds like it might be for you, then you can learn more through the links down below and you can also purchase it, help support my channel. Thanks a lot, Team KBA. Stay hydrated. I'll see you in the next video. But until then, keep being awesome. Peace.